When you think of billionaires, what comes to your mind in a split second is Jeff Bezos, the owner of Amazon, Elon Musk, the founder of Tesla, or Mark Zuckerberg, the creator of Facebook. But there is this man called Roman Abramovich, who was the owner of Chelsea Football Club. Now, you would think this man is just a mere Russian businessman. But make no mistake, you're wrong. This man is a multi-billionaire. The story of Roman Abramovich is not just insane, but at the same time inspiring. He's a citizen of Russia, Portugal and Israel, where he's the second richest man in Israel, the richest man in Portugal, and was once the richest man in Russia. So the question is, how did Roman Abramovich build an empire that makes him billions of dollars? But stay tuned for that, because there is one thing that Roman is known for, and that is donation. Other than the fact that this Russian billionaire has a very close relationship to the Russian president, Vladimir Putin, or the fact that he spent his fortune on his collection of super yachts, luxury cars, private planes, and lavish homes all around the world, one thing is for sure, he loves donating his fortune to people in need. On the 24th of October 1966, Abramovich was born in a city in Russia. It was a very remarkable day. Everyone was happy, but Roman's childhood wasn't as good as he wished for. At the age of 3, he became an orphan. His mother died when he was just a year old, and his father died when he was 3 years old. Having lost both parents, Abramovich was raised by relatives and spent most of his youth in the Communist Republic in northern Russia. Abramovich entered the business world during his army service. After his compulsory service in the Soviet army, he first worked as a street trader. Abramovich enrolled in the Moscow Road Transport Institute and soon dropped out to work as a mechanic at a local factory. He sold plastic toys from 1989 to 1991. In the years that followed, he created several companies that traded petroleum products, minerals, cement, and fertilizers in Russia and elsewhere. He was questioned by the police in 1992 for the theft of government-owned diesel fuel, which was later discovered and the case dismissed. And in this same time, everything was going perfect. Everything started going the Abramovich way. Evras plc, a UK incorporated multinational steel manufacturing and mining company, was partly owned by Roman Abramovich, which he owned 30.5% of the company. And just 8 years later, Abramovich was elected to the State Duma as a representative for the Chukotka Autonomous Okrug, a region in the Russian Far East. He started the charity Pole of Hope to help the people of Chukotka, especially children, and being a year in the office, he was elected governor of Chukotka. He was the governor of Chukotka from 2000 to 2008, and it was believed that he invested over $1.3 billion in the region. During his tenure, living standards were improved, schools and housing were restored, and new investors were drawn to the region, and this is why he is known as the man of donations. Abramovich was awarded the Order of Honor for his huge contribution by a decree signed by the Russian president. Abramovich was the first person to recommend to Yeltsin that Vladimir Putin be his successor as the Russian president. Driving under Putin's reign, Roman fast emerged as one of the wealthiest men in Russia during the tail end of 1990, and Roman would remain one of Putin's closest confidants. A biographer of Putin, Chris Hutchins, described the relationship between the Russian President Putin and Abramovich as like that between a father and a favorite son. After being governor of Chukotka for a year, he created a company called Millhouse Capital, a British registered company created in 2001 to manage assets, and 2 years later, everything was perfect. But he was an ambitious man. He wanted more out of life. He wanted to leave a global footprint, and that was when he decided to purchase London football club Chelsea. Despite being offered one of the most established clubs in England like Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur, Roman insisted on purchasing Chelsea. He initially bought 50% of the West London club for £30 million before completing a complete takeover for £140 million few days later. And after completing the deal, he said,
"I was bored and wanted a new challenge."
And now we can see he took up the challenge very well, because the successful Chelsea we see today is all thanks to Roman Abramovich. For Abramovich's second season at the Stamford Bridge, Jose Mourinho was recruited as a new manager, and Chelsea ended the season as league champions for the first time in 50 years and only the second time in their history. Since the takeover of Abramovich, Chelsea has won 80 major trophies, equal with Manchester United in the same time span. But in 2022, with the invasion of Russia and Ukraine, Roman decided to hand over Chelsea to a new owner because he has ties with Russian President Vladimir Putin.
Breaking news to bring you from Chelsea in the last few moments, a statement from Roman Abramovich, and it confirms what we've been telling you today. I have decided to sell Chelsea FC.
He confirms that he is going to sell Chelsea.
But one thing is for sure, no matter what happens, Roman would still remain one of the richest men in the world. According to Forbes 2022, Roman Abramovich was worth $8.9 billion US. He bought 16 Kensington Palace Gardens in London in 2009 and a 15-bedroom mansion for £90 million. Abramovich also purchased 4 Upper East Side townhouses in Manhattan in New York City. Abramovich has become the world's greatest spender on luxury yachts, has a fleet of yachts which the media have called the Abramovich Navy. Abramovich owns a private Boeing 767 aircraft. Initially, the aircraft was ordered from Hawaiian Airlines, but the order was cancelled and Abramovich bought it from Boeing. But unlike other billionaires, Roman Abramovich loves giving away his money to people in need. Abramovich has reportedly donated more money to charity than any other living Russian.
Abramovich and Usmanov, who's the second biggest giver. Abramovich is the biggest giver, he's about $300 million. Gates and Buffett, the two richest Americans, have given away about $6 billion in the same 3-year period that we were tracking.
Between 2009 and 2013, Abramovich donated more than $2.5 billion US to build schools, hospitals and infrastructure in Chukoka. He has reportedly spent approximately £1.5 billion, a charity set up to help people in the Arctic region of Chukoka where he governed. In addition, Evras PLC, owned by Abramovich, donated $164 million US for social projects between 2010 through 2012, an amount that is excluded in Abramovich's $310 million US donation during this period. Abramovich was recognized by the Forum for Jewish Culture and Religion for his contribution of more than $500 million to Jewish causes in Russia, the US, Britain, Portugal, Lithuania, Israel and elsewhere over the past 20 years. In June 2019, Abramovich donated $5 billion to the Jewish Agency for Israel to support efforts to combat anti-Semitism globally. Abramovich decided to establish a forest of 25,000 trees in memory of Lithuanian Jews who perished in the Holocaust. He also gave a substantial donation for the rehabilitation of the Jewish cemetery of Altonia. Abramovich funds an extended program in Israel that brings Jewish and Arab children together in football coaching sessions. More than 1,000 Arab and Jewish children each year will be brought together through football. And by the time he sold Chelsea, he decided to use the funds to help those in Ukraine affected by the Russian invasion.
And he also says that the proceeds from the sale, the net proceeds from the sale, are going to go to a charitable foundation, and that foundation is going to benefit all victims of the war in Ukraine. He also says that he will not be asking for his loans to the club to be repaid. Bear in mind, he's put in about £1.5 billion into Chelsea since he bought the club 19 years ago.
This is the reason why nearly everybody loves Roman Abramovich.
He helped me with my education, tickets. It's of course it's it's like my agent. Yes, it's the best agent in the world, and it's a big dream for me. He gave me a lot of advices about behaviors, about tactics, about communication with chairman, with honest, because he has unbelievable success here.
From being an orphan at age 3 to building a successful business empire and now using his fortune to help people. This is the kind of billionaire we need in the world. Thank you so much for watching this video to the very end. Watch this video next. It is one untold truth you need to hear. Leave this video a like, subscribe, and I'm gonna catch you in my next video. Peace.